Friends, welcome to the Gym Boss podcast. I'm Jimmy Halley. I'm your host as always. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about messenger ads and how it's actually been some quite surprising results from the tests that we've been running with a few of our clients at the agency. So, have some results and also some insights to share, especially if you've been running ads recently or sometime in the past and the lead flow has dried up somewhat or completely altogether. So if that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned in. But before I dive into that, if you want to know more about how we implement this service for clients as our done for you service, you simply go over to iwantgymleads.com. That's iwantgymleads.com. You can go over there. I've got a short little video that explains the service, the ins and outs, if you're looking for somebody to execute this for you. But I digress. Let's go dive in. Let's get into the juice. Let's get into the meaty part of what all this is about. So, going back to what I said. So, maybe number one, leads have dried up. So, you've been running some ads, maybe running some lead form ads or some conversion campaigns, meaning you're running it to a landing page that you've created or you've had a web designer create for you. Or maybe this is actually a good thing that I've seen that is quite interesting for battling rising ad costs and rising cost per lead, because let's not beat around the bush. If you were running ads 5 years ago, leads were like $5. That was pretty common. Now it's pretty common for leads to be $25, right, for a gym. So I'm sure if you've been in the game for a while, you notice that that's what's been happening. So this can help counteract that too. So messenger ads, right? So Facebook, you may or may not have heard of ManyChat. They had a thing which was like an automated bot where you could set up several questions and they can have different things like attachments, screenshots, and things like that. Well, Facebook now, in the last, I don't even know how long, have implemented their own version of it, which is directly built inside of Facebook, which is great. You don't need an extra third-party bit of software, and it works and it does the job for what we need to do here. So what you can do is you set up the bot and it has predetermined questions and you're good to go. So there's what I want to talk about here though is a statement or a quote that I heard from Kerwin Rae. So Kerwin Rae is an Aussie personal development and business coach, and he's got this statement that he said where chat is the new lead. Chat is the new lead. Typically in the past, we're looking for a name, email, and phone number, and that is great. And let me preface this. That still works fantastically. That's still the staple and the bread and butter of what works. But this is for those cases for gyms that might be struggling a bit to get leads, and this is what I would suggest. So instead of asking for people to enter their name, email, and phone number first, we've got a completely different strategy. And it's about being completely transparent, honest, and open up front. And so I'm going to tell you a little story, actually. I've been watching this TV series. I might be a little bit late to the party, but it's called Blind Spot. And it's basically the premise of the whole series is this woman wakes up, she's stuffed inside a duffel bag, completely naked, but she's covered head to toe in tattoos. And these tattoos are clues to a secret FBI undercover stuff, like shady things that have been going on, uncovering all the bad guys basically, and all the corruption that's going on. But this girl has no idea who she is. Her memory is completely wiped. She has no idea how she ended up in the bag. She has no idea how she ended up with the tattoos, but she ends up being at the FBI with all of these clues on her, and the whole series is about like deciphering the clues and whatnot. But why I'm telling this story is there's a lot of parts in it where she says things and it's like completely obvious. Like she's talking about the plot line to try and like, well, maybe if we go here and we ask this guy a question about X, Y, and Z, well then I might know a little bit more about who I am. And you're like, well, no shit. Like, and they keep repeating stuff like that throughout the whole series, which is making it completely obvious about what they're about to do next and what they're about to go and do. and what's about to unfold next. And that's exactly what this messenger ads are all about. They're completely unfolding everything before you get people to ask them to take an action. So, in the past, we would typically run an ad, ask for their name, email, and phone number. Don't give them any prices, don't give them any timetable, don't give them anything, right? Until we get them on the phone. And then when we're on the phone, that's when we have the conversation, ask about their goals, fill them in about the program, the pricings, the timetables, and whatnot, while we've got them on the phone. But this concept is flipping it in reverse. In the ManyChat bot, what we're going to do is what we have been doing is the first thing that comes out before we even ask them a question is like, hey, thanks for inquiring about ABC Gym. Here's the timetable for the program that you've inquired about. Bang, it's right there. So before they even enter their name, email, phone number, they've simply clicked the button. They're already getting the timetable. Then we ask them, hey, would you like to see the pricings? Or the next option is none of the times suit. And so if they ask the price, it's like, great, cool. Well, here's our membership options, boom, 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 boom. Or here's the intro offer, or whatever the thing is that you're advertising. Here's the price of it, and here's what's included. And it has like all the inclusions and the pricing and everything. And then the next thing is we ask them like, hey, how would you like to proceed from here? And we give them options saying, hey, would you like to sign up or get started, or would you like to ask more questions, right? And so then that way, what we've done is before we've even asked them for their phone number and anything, we've given them the timetable, given them the price, and the address is in there as well, the address, and then we're asking them, hey, how would you like to proceed? Would you like to, register now? And then that's when you go ahead and get them booked in for an appointment, or get them, on the phone, so you can like ask for their phone number. So either or. You can ask them leave their phone number so someone from the team can then contact them, or send them a link to a calendar so then you can get them booked in for their first visit at the gym, for the first free session, consultation, whatever it may be. And what we're doing, we're front loading all of that, and we're being like that TV series I just explained, the Blind Spot, where we're going, hey, this is what we're doing. We're doing this and this and this. Would you like to now proceed to do that? Instead of, hey, we will hold all the information behind a closed door and we're not going to give it to you until you give us your contact information. Right? See the difference? And so I think that's been really helpful in terms of that. But there's also some other benefits that I haven't mentioned just yet that I'll get into right now, is going back to, like, if you notice, I haven't asked for their name, email, phone number. We can literally get them booked into an in-gym appointment for their first visit at the gym without asking them for their phone number and stuff until they're booking that appointment. Does that make sense? And it's only after they've gotten all the information, because most people, when they see an ad, they're curious. They're like, okay, cool, this looks cool. The ad usually gives some description around, what's involved. But the big things on the elephant in the room is, what's the price? What's the timetable? They're the two biggest things, so we just address those before we even ask them to do anything. And going back to that quote from Kern Ray, chat is the new lead. During the chat process, what's going to be interesting, if you look at the stats, and what has been interesting is, we get people to, a lead is considered if they go all the way through the bot. But not everybody will go through all of the automated questions. There's only like 2 or 3 automated questions, but some people just want to click the first thing, see the timetable, and then, they're away or whatever. But they haven't given any name, email, and phone number. But you can still now communicate with them because they've messaged your page for your gym. And this is where we're seeing a lot of the game being changed, especially battling those rising ad costs and rising lead costs. Because typically, just say you get one lead for, say, $25, you would have had maybe another 6 or 8 or 10 people click to get to that one person to enter the lead. But now, all those people that clicked, we can still communicate with them even though they haven't gone all the way through the messenger sequence. Do you see where I'm getting at? So instead of now only having the opportunity to speak to one person for $25, just in this example, right? One person for $25 would be a typical name, email, phone number lead. But now with the chat, we've got 10 people that you can communicate with via Messenger. Now you've got 10 times more opportunities to get people to walk through the doors of your gym for the same price. And to me, this is game changing. This is game changing. And particularly doing it in the strategy that we're unfolding, where there's nuance to how you execute the follow-ups and the manual chat process, which I could probably get into on another video. But I'm gonna go back and recap the benefits of this and what we're seeing. And we're getting appointments for one of our clients to fill you in. I checked it this morning. We're getting appointments scheduled for $41. So for every $41 in ad spend, this person's getting someone to say, yeah, I want to come to the gym. Where normally it would be a lot more than that. Something to think about, $41. And that's just in the first couple of days of us running it. And so we're going to be doing some tweaks and stuff like that. I'm sure we could get that cost down even more. But I think that's pretty interesting that we've got that. Plus, we've got people in the works that we can still communicate with down the track because they're all in Messenger now. So let me recap here for you, just to close this out, is if leads have dried up or you want to start battling those rising ad costs, chat is the new lead. So you can still communicate with them. And to be honest, a lot of people don't want to get on the phone, is what we experience. Regardless if we have a call center, there's still a portion of the leads that we get where they'd rather chat via text message or via Messenger. So we still have people on the phones because you need to attack it from all angles. But Messenger is a really good way for, if you're having trouble getting people on the phone, it's a good way to then counteract that as well, right? Because now people feel safer just chatting via Messenger instead. So rising ad costs helps people get communication with them even if they don't want to be on the phone. Chat is the new lead, as we said. You're being super honest and transparent with your bot by making sure you're delivering all the value and all the information that they want to know before asking them to take the action you want. That is key, right? Giving them pricing, giving them timetables, giving them the address and locations. And then that is that's it. And you're getting more people that you can speak to versus what you would doing traditional lead generation. So there's a lot of pros there. Now, does the traditional lead generation still work? 100%. And we still do it because there are higher intent with that type of person because they have taken the time, effort, and energy to put in their name, email, and phone number. So that still works really well if you have great follow-up, you have great sales scripts, and you have great people on the phones handling all the responses, replies, and all that stuff. But if you're dealing with some of the problems that we said, it's a good alternative to test. And so it's worked out pretty good for us so far. And so if that's you, give it a go. It might work out pretty good for you too. And I hope you've really enjoyed this video because I really do enjoy making these for you. And if you do want to know more about us potentially helping you with how you can get this implemented so we can actually implement it for you, go to iwantgymleads.com. It's iwantgymleads.com. You can go over there, you can check out a bit more about the service and how we actually can execute this for you. So you can be in the gym doing your thing and just dealing with the people that are actually going to be showing up for their appointments and delivering great culture, community, and everything else that you do inside your gym so well. So much love to you all. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you're still here right now, I really do appreciate you giving me your time and attention because I know it's a very valuable and precious resource. So thank you so much. Love you all. See you on the next one.